guys, welcome to another video of 1 year current affairs rapid revision series. In this video I am going to discuss 8th June 2024 international issues. 8th June 2024 current affairs. In this only international issues we are going to discuss. The first concept is European Commission excludes Tanzania from conservation grant. Okay, so let us go into the details now. European Commission excludes Tanzania from 18.4 million conservation grant on June 2024. Okay, in response to Tanzanian government's eviction of Maasai people from their traditional lands. What is the detail here? In short, EU given a grant under Natur Africa program to Tanzania, but later this grant was withdrawn because EU comes to know Tanzania vacating lands of Maasai people instead of Kenya, instead of focusing on Kenya. Okay, how Tanzania come to know about this withdrawal? Let us see here in the so this was written down in Corrigendum number 4 GO of EU funding and tenders portal. So how we come to know, for example, UPSC notification is there. How do you come to know? By portal. In the same way, Tanzania come to know in EU funding and tenders portal about this GO that the funding grant was withdrawn. Okay, this is a big change affected Tanzania in particular. They went into big shock because they do not get the grant now. If we come to know, suppose you applied for a bank loan, okay, or PF. If suddenly you comes to know the loan is not coming, PF is not coming due to some reasons, technical problems or other reasons, how do you feel shock? In the same way, Tanzania gone into a shock. It was affected a lot. So what is the reason? Update clearly leaves out activities in Tanzania, focusing instead of parts on Kenya, Eastern Rift Savanna and watersheds. Eri Sawa part of the program. This Eri Sawa belongs to the Maasai people. Maasai means they are one traditional tribes of Africa. They live near in Kenya. Okay. So reasons for withdrawal. What is the reasons for withdrawal? Okay, human right violations as Tanzania government using conservation as a pretext to evict the Maasai. So what they are doing? They are taking conservation grant using this to evict or vacate Maasai people. From EU, Tanzania is taking conservation grant and using this to evict Maasai people. So how EU comes to know about this? Okay, human right violations caused by these evictions brought to light by international pressure and lobbying by groups. Means EU comes to know this through international organizations. Other international organizations reported to EU that Tanzania is misusing the grant to vacate Maasai people. This is a human right violation. Who are the international organizations who reported to EU are Maasai International Solidarity Alliance and Survival International. These two organizations work for refugees, etc. like peace, international peace things. Whoever refugees taken into tribals. These two organizations work for welfare of these type of tribals and refugees. The Maasai people are also tribal people, so for their welfare they reported to EU that Tanzania is doing misuse of the grant took from the EU. Okay, these groups, Tanzanian government ignored the rights and ways of living of native Maasai people while claiming to be concerned with protecting the environment and promoting ecotourism. Okay, how Tanzania removed from funding? Tanzania take a list of countries that could get the funding. Okay, from the list of the countries who get funding, Tanzania was removed, and that is updated in the funding portal. Already I told you that portal. Okay, Tanzania government being criticized for how it manages its protected areas, how it manages the Maasai people. This is a human right involved in forcing Maasai people to leave the Narogana conservation area. Here, Lolindo, near Lalindo, both of which are very important. So whatever the lands, geographical lands, physical names are given here. Okay, near Lalindo and near Nograna conservation area, both are very important for culture and environment. Okay, so what is the international response for this move? Okay, how the international organizations are feeling for this? Recently, other foreign groups like World Bank, German Development Corporation stopped funding projects in the region out of similar concerns. So before EU, World Bank and German Development Corporation also stopped funding Tanzania because they are evicting Maasai people in conservation name. Okay, this is a human right violation. Okay, withdrawing funds in this way makes it clear that conservation projects that do not value human rights and environment friendly methods should not be carried out. Means what is mean by this withdrawal? Means whatever the conservation projects that evict people from their habitat, that is not supported, and that type of environment friendly, non-friendly things, okay, they do not value human rights, that type of things should not be supported. Okay, consequences of the move. EU's decision was welcomed by because Survival International and MISA are already happy because they work for welfare of Maasai people. They are the government, Tanzanian government is doing injustice to Maasai people by evicting them from their traditional lands for the sake of conservation projects. Now the conservation project is stopped by EU in human right violations. So obviously Survival International and Maasai Solidarity Alliance, both organizations are feeling happy after this move. So the decision sends a strong message to Tanzanian government. Decision follows similar actions by World Bank and German Development Corporation. I told you the World Bank and German Development Corporation also stopped funding Tanzania after this issue. So what is Nature Africa initiative? Purpose of the grant? Let us see here. Okay, goal of Nature Africa project is to protect biodiversity by promoting sustainable development, biodiversity, BD, sustainable development. At the same time, protect environment, protect environment, and also help local communities financially and socially. Means biodiversity conservation, sustainable development, environment protection. At the same time, promote local communities financially and socially. Means local communities should not be affected. Community should not be affected while preserving the environment. That is the meaning of this Nature Africa initiative. But Tanzania is violating the rule. The Nature Africa initiative is there to promote sustainable development, environment, at the same time to protect the local community. But Tanzania is not protecting the local community. Okay. So this is a violation of the rule. That's why the funding was stopped. So that important ecosystem services are maintained. Key landscapes for conservation and development are main areas of the program. Means key conservation along with local community development is the ambition of the project. So you are evicting the people, you are doing bad to them. At the same time, how do you get money for conservation project that promotes people welfare? That is the question here. Okay. So Neolithic ethnic group inhabiting northern, central, southern Kenya, northern Tanzania, near African Great Lakes region. Language, what the language they use? A small language. Okay, they have single deity in two forms. Engai Norak, who is benevolent, and Engai Nayoke, red god, who is vengeful. Way of living is cattle. Cattle is the main source of living for them. And traditional attire, shuka, sheets worn wrapped around the body, mean jewelry. They are obviously tribal people, they wear sheets only. Sheets like leaf like things they wear. That is lifestyle of those people. To that type of innocent people, the government is doing injustice. That's why the EU stopped grant to them. Okay. Okay. The central figure in Maasai religious life is Libon, who serves as shamanistic healer, diviner, and political leader. Traditional rites. What are the traditional rites they have? Genital mutilation for girls. Okay, important cultural practices. Circumcision for boys. Like they have some own traditions like genital mutilation for girls and session for boys. Piercing and stretching of earlobes are common among Maasai, with both men and women wearing metal hoops. They use like tops we wear, na, like that they use some metal hoops. Like big Africans wear big ear tops, na, that type of they use. In this entire session, na, always Africa only coming into light. Africa. In first topic also we saw Nairobi, Kenya, African areas. In this non-permanent members of UNSC, in this Somalia is selected. Somalia. Our next topic is non-permanent members of UNSC. Okay. So Pakistan, Panama, Somalia, Denmark, Greece have been elected as non-permanent members of UN Security Council for 2-year term starting 2025. This marks Pakistan 8th term as non-permanent member. Okay, UNSC is a organization of UN's organization. It is having 5 permanent members, 10 temporary members. In these 10, Somalia is elected now. Okay. And they can be selected as president also. The term is 2 years. Term of these temporary members is 2 years. These permanent members have like 5 years term, I think, but temporary members have only 2 years term. So they will have a from among them president can also be selected. So that's why they are very important in UNSC. That's why they are very powerful. Still they are temporary, but they are powerful in UNSC. So Somalia got this opportunity now. Somalia reached a major milestone by becoming first country since 1970s to have a non-permanent place in UN Security Council. Okay, this change which was revealed after a vote in 139 member UN. Okay, UN already know 139 members are there in UN. Somalia got 179 seats. 179 seats in General Assembly, UNGA. UNGA selects the members for UNSC Security Council. UNSC works for peace of world, peace and security. This objective you might know many number of times. You might be watching this topic everywhere. So Somalia got 179 votes in major step forward in the country's international relations and government after decades of civil war. This seat is meant for East Africa and Somalia won it without any competition. This seat was meant for East Africa, but Somalia won it without any competition. Okay. So what is the background? Background means Somalia's background we will see. Somalia involved in civil war within inside country. Within country. Now they are fighting against terrorism from outside. Okay. So here we will see, I will read the content, you listen and understand. After President Mohammad Said Barre was removed from office in 1919, Somalia fell into civil war. Since 1991, they are continuously fighting. They are involved in civil war only. Rival clans, leaders fought each other for years. UN and African Union have played a big role trying to settle the country and get central government back in place during this time. Many times UN and African Union tried to make them peace, but it could not be established due to this civil war and inside reasons. Central government has also fighting Islamist terrorist group as Al-Shabaab. The central government now fighting with terrorism. Al-Shabaab group. With them Like we fight with Al Qaeda, okay, Bin Laden, like that India fights with. In the same way, the Africa is also fighting with terrorist groups. As foreign troops leave, these efforts are getting stronger. Means these efforts are increasing nowadays, but it is of no use only. Despite Somalia established some peace in the country. Okay. So global consequences of Somalia's membership. How the other countries are failing. Security Council is in charge of keeping peace and safety of the whole world. What I told you, UNSC works for global peace and security. The work of UNSC is global peace and security. Now UNSC allotted a seat in Somalia. For Somalia means UNSC is trying to make Somalia's peace. Stop internal problems. Whatever the internal fights are there, civil war is there, terrorism is there. Against that, UNSC will work from now to make peace in Somalia. Okay, Somalia's unique experiences with fighting terrorism and domestic conflicts expected to give them useful insights, impact on global security policies when it comes to strategies for resolving conflicts and fighting terrorism. So, whatever the experience they have till now in fighting internal fights and with terrorism, that they will use now in UNSC to fight against global peace and global security. Now we will see what is UNSC here. Okay, UNSC is one of the 6 principal organs of UN. Already I told you. Okay, along with UNGA, ECOSAC, Economic and Social Council, Trustship Council, International Court of Justice, ICJ, and UN Secretariat. UN is having 6 principal organs. The all names are given here. 6 organs. ECOSAC, UNGA, okay, and ICJ, Secretariat, UNSC, okay, and Trusteeship Council. You should remember these 6. These are very important. UN have many organizations, subsidiary organizations, but these 6 are principal organs of UN. Means they are organizations within UN. So you have to remember these names, their structure, composition, people, and how many countries are enrolled in this, how many people are ratified, how many countries are members, non-permanent members, how many countries ratified. These are all things you should know, otherwise it is very difficult to understand international organization concepts. Okay, so it consists of 15 members with 5 permanent members: China, France, Russia. What are the permanent members here? China, France, Russia, USA, UK. So China, Russia, USA, worldwide powerful countries. Powerful number 1, powerful number 2, powerful number 3. 3 countries and France and UK you have to remember here. These are permanent members, means they work for global peace and prosperity. Okay, they hold veto power. UNSC has a primary responsibility for maintaining international peace and security. UNGA annually elects 5 non-permanent members of the UN Security Council for term year through a secret ballot. Okay. So, Security Council has 15 members: US, UK, France, China and Russia. 5 permanent members and other 10 members are non-permanent. In 10 members, 5 are elected now. Already we saw the 5 countries, Somalia, Denmark, Greece. Okay, they are not permanent seats. They split up by global area and each person served for 2 years without the power to veto. Means each person serves for 2 years without the power for veto. Non-permanent members have a lot of power because they can change the way debates and votes are conducted on important topics like peacekeeping missions and sanctions. Okay, and president can also be elected out of these non-permanent members. So they got some importance in the UNSC now.